Accio wallet. Hey, Chinese tea jello, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite movies. And of course, I am in the Harry Potter movie franchise review series, and I have arrived at the second last Harry Potter movie in the franchise, and that is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Once again, directed by David Yates, so again, you're expecting very slow, dreadful, dreary, and depressing and moody Harry Potter. And the plot of this movie is really special. In fact, in comparison with any other movies slash books in the franchise, um, Deathly Hallows is the standout. And for the movies, Deathly Hallows Part 1 is a bit of an oddball. Because in this movie, we were never actually shown Hogwarts. I mean, except for that one shot where, some Death Eaters try to go to Hogwarts but got, you know, repelled by the force field, by the Protego Maxima. And yeah, this movie is the movie where, for a majority of this movie, Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger are stuck in the wild, camping, feeling lost, feeling dreadful, feeling anxious, always in danger, always looking over their shoulders, not really knowing where to go or what to do next. And it's easily the most dreary and the most depressing movie in the entire franchise. And that alone makes me really, really enjoy the movie. So, the plot is basically, well, uh, in case you haven't seen Half Blood Prince, Welp, Dumbledore is gone. And Hogwarts is in great danger. Voldemort, the evil, dark wizard, is now one step ahead of the good guys. And now there's this thing called Horcrux, where Voldemort basically split his soul into many different pieces and hide his soul in these objects, and you need to destroy these objects before you destroy Voldemort. And 2 out of 7 Horcruxes have already been destroyed, or to them, according to Harry Potter and the trio, they thought there were 6 Horcruxes, but in fact there were 7. Anyways, the Tom Riddle diary has already been destroyed in movie 2, The Chamber of Secrets by Harry Potter, and Marvolo Gaunt's ring is destroyed by Dumbledore off screen. And they have 4 to go, according to them, but actually 5 to go. And now that I have rewatched this movie not too long ago, I realized that for the entirety of the movie, they only destroyed and found 1 Horcrux. They only found and destroyed 1 Horcrux. They spent the entire movie, 2.5 hours, just looking for and destroying 1 Horcrux. And for part 2, we still have 4 more Horcruxes to destroy, and they're actually all destroyed in the last movie. So it's kind of um, it's kind of impressive how in Deathly Hallows Part 2 they can pack so many Horcrux destroying storylines into just one movie and into the second half of the book, while the first half is so spacey and so atmospheric, and there's so much time spent on not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, and I actually kind of like it. And I'm going to be honest here, Deathly Hallows Part 1 is, in my opinion, the most criminally underrated Harry Potter movie ever. I don't know why not many people like this movie as much as I do, but this is actually one of my favorites in the entire series. Just the atmosphere alone, just the depressing, the dreadful atmosphere is just incredibly haunting. The entire movie starts off with uh, Harry Potter and Ron and Hermione sort of preparing for the war that is about to come. And that scene is before the title card. And usually, when movies do this, epic music with epic title card, it's sometimes kind of corny and cringy, but this time it actually works, especially for that scene where Hermione wiped the memories of her parents, making them forget about her. That scene is tragic, it's painful, and that scene is done way better than in the book, because in that scene, Hermione actually didn't want to wipe her parents' memories, but because she wants to protect her parents, she had to do that. And later on, she kept teleporting, aka apparating, Harry and Ron into places where she and her parents used to go. It just goes to show how much Hermione actually cared for her parents. And there's one change from the book to the movie that I'm not too happy about, and that is before the Dudleys leave Harry Potter and their original house. In the book, Dudley and Harry Potter, Vernon Dudley, actually had a pretty emotional goodbye, because in the books there's enough space and enough time and material for the character of Vernon Dudley to change and become better. But I guess in the movie, they didn't put those scenes in because they thought it's a waste of time. So I guess it's just better off to, let them just leave the house and not have it be an emotional goodbye. But they actually filmed this. They actually filmed this scene. It is in the deleted scenes. But they didn't put it in the final cut, I guess, to make sure those characters stay consistent, even though in the books them doing this is consistent. Anyways, afterwards, everybody went to Harry Potter's house, aka the Dudley house. Ron, Hermione, Mad Eye Moody, Remus, Lupin, and his wife Tonks, and Fred and George. Ginny wasn't there for some reason, which is actually a good thing, because Harry Potter doesn't want to put Ginny in danger, and but a lot of people are there, including Bill Weasley and Fleur, and also this guy Mundungus Fletcher, and of course Kingsley Shacklebolt, and they all drank Polyjuice Potion. Well, most of them drank Polyjuice Potion to become Harry Potter. That scene is incredibly interesting. I mean, we already have a Polyjuice Potion scene in Chamber of Secrets, but that scene is nowhere near as entertaining and as action-packed and intense and suspenseful than this scene. And when an entire pack of Harry Potter is leaving the house and trying to fly over to Ron's, the Weasley house, there were a bunch of Death Eaters ambushing, trying to attack them. But of course, they didn't know which Harry Potter is real, which is fake. And there's this huge battle in the middle of the sky. That scene was friggin' amazing. And there's this realness to the battle scenes in this movie and the next one that I think a lot of the battles in the previous movies kind of lack. And then afterwards, they were going to hold a wedding for Bill and Fleur. And before the wedding happened, the then Minister of Magic, the Welsh guy, he came to Harry Potter and Ron and Hermione and gave them 3 items that Dumbledore left behind. And afterwards, there was the wedding. And then in the middle of the wedding, Death Eaters attacked once again, and everyone just teleported, just apparated away, just boom, gone. And before Harry Potter could save Ginny, Remus stopped him, and Harry, Ron, and Hermione just apparated into London, into Trafalgar Square. And that's another thing that I really like about this movie. This movie feels so real because a majority of it takes place in the real world, in London, in the streets, in the alleyways, in a little restaurant. And it's just it just makes the movie more gritty and grim, actually. And I also really like how from this scene on, the entire movie is just pure dread. It's incredibly dreadful because when it's only Harry and Ron and Hermione together, they weren't sure if the people around them, if the people they know are in danger. Are they dead? They don't know. Are they alive? Are they being captured, kidnapped? They don't know. Where are the Horcruxes? They don't know. What are the bad guys planning? What are the Death Eaters planning? What's their next move? Where are they? Are themselves safe? They have no idea. What are the Deathly Hallows? They also have no idea. And this ambiguity, this uncertainty just makes this so much more dreadful and atmospheric than, I guess, Half Blood Prince, which is also really slow, but it's rather mysterious in the books. And anyways, they had the locket, and they realized that it's a fake locket, and the real locket belongs to RAB, which is apparently Sirius Black's brother, who is already dead, long dead. And they managed to go to the Sirius Black house. And from the Sirius Black house, they found out who was RAB, who had the locket. And they found Creature, the Black House elf. And Creature told them that Mundungus Fletcher had the locket, but didn't know that the locket was actually a Horcrux. And Mundungus showed up after a while and said that the Horcrux is now at Dolores Umbridge's hands. So after all these, they realized that Umbridge has it, and Umbridge is a total freaking douchebag. So Harry, Ron, and Hermione decided to infiltrate the Ministry of Magic in order to steal Umbridge's locket. And they don't really have a plan. Everything's super improvised, and they were all pretending to be other people, and all these people have their own missions and jobs and positions. This scene where they infiltrate the ministry is one of the best scenes in the entire franchise. I was on the edge of my seat when I was watching this scene. I absolutely loved the scene. The stakes were just so high, and it was just so fun and suspenseful. Again, it's a polyjuice potion scene, but taken to a whole new level in the middle of the ministry. And there were some comedic moments that worked really well. There were some genius moments, and the way they all somehow converged back together, it's kind of miraculous because, again, the ministry is a mess, and now the Death Eaters have the control of the ministry because the new minister of magic is now under control of Voldemort. Anyways, afterwards, they had the real locket. They have the real locket. And for the second half of part one, they try to destroy it, but no matter how hard they try, they can't because you need to destroy it with something special like a basilisk tooth or the Sword of Gryffindor, which is actually interesting. Why didn't Voldemort make the Sword of Gryffindor a Horcrux? Because the diadem of Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff cup, and the Slytherin locket, they're all Horcruxes, but not the Gryffindor sword. Anyways, for the entire second half of the movie, it's even more depressing, even more slow and dreadful, where Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they're just stuck in the wild. And they need to walk on foot because Ron is not good at apparition. The last time he apparated, his entire arm got chopped off. So they decided to just go on foot, camping, and yeah, it's very, very sad. And there were all these scenes where they were just walking, and we hear radio noises in the back, just listing off names of wizards and witches who are missing, and it just makes it feel so much more depressing. And of course, we have a Harry and Ron argument, and Ron left for a bit. We have a dancing scene where it's just Harry and Hermione. They heard a song on the radio and they just danced. And I love that scene. Now that I've rewatched it, it just makes the whole situation feel so much more human. Like, they know that their situation is dreadful. They are nearly defeated. They have such a small chance of winning. But yet they need to somehow find a source of happiness just to relieve themselves. And it's kind of sad, but also beautifully human. And Ron is back. Ron came back, of course, which I thought was a little bit, ass pull. Like, wait, oh, so Ron's Deluminator somehow made him find them back? Okay, sure, it's canon. Um, but that wasn't the point because we have the destruction of the Slytherin locket. And that scene was also one of the more memorable scenes of the movie. It's incredibly emotional, at the same time scary, it's psychological, and I enjoy that. And also another Horcrux being destroyed. 3 down, 4 to go, progress is made. Afterwards, actually before the destruction of the locket, Harry and Hermione visited the Godric's Hollow. It's kind of awesome that the locations in this story, in these stories change all the time, and especially in this movie because they are not in Hogwarts anymore. No more Hagrid's hut, no more Leaky Cauldron, no more Burrow. It's been burnt down, and it's all these new locations or an old location like the Godric's Hollow. And there was a particularly scary scene there that was quite the memorable as well. And also, when Harry Potter decided to go to Godric's Hollow, he was like, "Oh, maybe Voldemort hid a Horcrux in Godric's Hollow." Well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong actually. There was a very suspenseful and well edited chase scene in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the woods, which leads to the climax of the movie where Harry, Ron, and Hermione were brought to the Malfoy house where Bellatrix Lestrange stayed. And they were about to call Voldemort to the Malfoy house to kill Harry Potter. And then suddenly, Dobby showed up. And now that Dobby showed up, Dobby saved them all. And the ending brings me to tears. Um, yeah, it's such a sad movie, but that is exactly the reason why I think it's very criminally underrated. It's emotional, it's raw, the atmosphere building is absolutely excellent, and some of the shots in this movie are beautiful, especially the shots where Harry, Ron, and Hermione are just walking. They are beautiful, and I was gonna say that the cinematography is amazing in this movie, but actually, it's the location scouting. Shout out to the location scouts. Um, but yeah, I also really like the ending, even though it's very traumatizing. And yeah, I don't know. The more I think about this movie, the more I love this movie and find that this movie is incredibly underrated. I actually like this movie way more than The Chamber of Secrets, Half Blood Prince. I actually like this movie more than Goblet of Fire. And I actually like this movie slightly more than Order of Phoenix, just slightly. And yeah, this movie's mind blowing, and I am giving it a strong 8 to a light 9 out of 10. That's how much I like this movie. So, have you watched Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.